Hey everyone. Welcome to Top Tech News. This is your news channel for getting updated with the latest tech news headlines and their impact on business and our lives. To read the full news article for any of the news that we cover, simply click on its link given below in the description. To stay updated, show us some love and hit the subscribe button below and turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. This way you would be informed whenever we upload a new video. Hi, my name is Dee and I am your host for today. Today's top headlines are: in a first, scientists map particle-laden rivers in the sky. The new Torque 1 e-bike may be the most affordable torque sensor-based electric bike yet. Ford has received more than 44,000 reservations for F150 Lightning electric pickup truck. Apple now selling PS5 DualSense Controller following iOS 14.5 support. Google Assistant will soon be able to power off your Android phone. Let's get started. In a first, scientists map particle-laden rivers in the sky. Windy regions high in the atmosphere can transport pollutants like dust or soot thousands of miles around the world and disrupt everyday life for thousands of people. Last summer, Godzilla came for the Caribbean and the U.S. Gulf Coast. This particular monster wasn't of the sci-fi variety but, rather, a massive dust storm kicked up by winds from the Sahara Desert and carried an ocean away. The dust storm was an extreme example of a phenomenon that happens regularly: the global transport of dust, soot, and other airborne particles, collectively known as aerosols, by jets of winds in the atmosphere. The result is the formation of what are called aerosol atmospheric rivers. Gaining a better understanding of how these particles are transported around the globe is important because certain aerosols can nourish rainforest soil, help or hinder cloud formation, reduce visibility, or affect air quality, which can impact human health. But studies of aerosol transport have tended to focus on single events in a particular part of the world. There wasn't really a way of looking at them in a holistic, global way. In a first, a recent study published in the journal Geophysical Research Letters does just that. 5 types of aerosols are of particular interest to researchers: dust, 2 kinds of carbon particles, that is, soot, and organic carbon, sulfate that is emitted during events like volcanic eruptions or the burning of fossil fuels, and sea salt. The authors identified where aerosol atmospheric rivers tend to occur and how often extreme events, similar to the Godzilla dust storm, happen each year. To do this, they took a computer program they previously developed to detect atmospheric rivers around the world that move water vapor and produce precipitation, and they modified it to detect aerosol atmospheric rivers instead. The shift from using atmospheric rivers to study the movement of water vapor to using them to study aerosol transport was something of a revelation, because researchers only started to use the global detection framework of atmospheric rivers to look at the movement of extreme amounts of water vapor about 6 years ago. The concept of atmospheric rivers is only about 20 years old. After modifying the atmospheric river algorithm for aerosol atmospheric rivers, the study's authors applied it to a state-of-the-art reconstruction of Earth's atmosphere called the Modern Aeroretrospective Analysis for Research and Applications, version 2, or MERA 2, from NASA's Global Modeling and Assimilation Office. It incorporates datasets from satellites, airborne instruments, and sensors on the ground from 1980 to the present to produce a representation of the structure of Earth's atmosphere every 6 hours. MERA 2 enabled the researchers to look back in time to analyze the location and frequency of aerosol atmospheric rivers around the world from 1997 to 2014. The study authors found that regions including the Sahara, Patagonia, Asian deserts, and Namibia are big sources of dust aerosol atmospheric rivers, while areas like the eastern U.S., the southern Amazon and Africa and northern India tend to produce ones dominated by soot resulting from wildfires and the burning of fossil fuels. The analysis also showed these atmospheric rivers tend to move large amounts of aerosols in a limited number of extreme events instead of in a steady stream throughout the year. We were astonished to find that a few major events a year can transport between 40% to 100% of the aerosols moved by the atmosphere, said Sudeep Chakraborty, an atmospheric scientist at JPL and a study co-author. Now that scientists have a way of looking at aerosol atmospheric rivers globally, the framework gives them a way to study how these particle-laden rivers in the sky affect Earth's climate. This includes how aerosols interact with clouds to potentially supercharge storms, how they trap or reflect heat in the atmosphere, and whether phenomena like El Niño and La Niña affect atmospheric aerosol river pathways and frequency. The new approach also gives researchers insight into how aerosol atmospheric rivers could affect communities around the world, through their impacts on air quality and visibility and their ability to move plant pathogens that can affect crops. The new Torque 1 e-bike may be the most affordable torque sensor-based electric bike yet. The Torque 1 electric commuter bike from St. Petersburg, Florida-based reservations may just be one of the most affordable electric bicycles out there with a torque sensor. For those that don't nerd out about e-bikes as much as the rest of us, a torque sensor is just a more elegant way of controlling power on an electric bike. E-bikes that lack throttles are powered by a pedal assist system, or PAS, that engages the e-bike's motor when it detects that the rider is pedaling. The most simple form of PAS uses a cadence sensor that measures roughly how fast the pedals are turning. The faster the rider pedals, the more power is sent to the motor. It works, but it has a few drawbacks. For example, cadence sensors tend to exhibit power lag while the system is counting the first few pedal rotations to determine speed. When the user starts to pedal, it takes a second or two for the power to kick in. A more elegant PAS sensor is a torque sensor. These measure how hard the rider is pedaling, not how fast. The reading is nearly instantaneous, which means that the power comes on quickly. It also adjusts more effectively as the rider often pedals harder on hills or when starting from rest and thus needs more power. Most e-bikes that feature torque sensors instead of cadence sensors are found on the higher end of companies' product lines. The Torque 1 from reservations though is priced at a mere $1,199, far below the average electric bicycle price in the US. The 20 miles per hour, 32 kilometers per hour, e-bike is considered a Class 1 e-bike in the US and thus can ride just about anywhere bicycles are permitted. The 38 pounds or 17.2 kilograms e-bike uses a single-speed drivetrain tied into a 350 watts rear hub motor. The internal 36 volts and 10.5 Ah battery offers around 380 watt-hours of capacity, or enough for 25 to 50 miles, or 40 to 80 kilometers of riding depending on the power assist level selected. The battery is integrated into the down tube of the frame, which comes with its own advantages and disadvantages. Integrated batteries make the bike look sleeker and stealthier than bulky external batteries, and the batteries are also harder to steal. On the other hand, the batteries also can't be easily removed for charging. Most are designed to be removed only for servicing, and thus the battery must be charged on the bike. Helping to keep the price down, the bike is only available in one color, white, and one size, fits 5 feet 5 inches to 6 foot 2 or 165 to 188 centimeters. The single-speed drivetrain and narrow 700cc by 28mm tires help keep the bike's weight down too, though a lack of fenders means you might want to add your own for all-weather commuting. The bike is certainly simple, offering just an LED display and basic mechanical disc brakes. But at $1,199, the Torque 1 is designed as an entry-level commuter e-bike that just happens to feature a non-entry-level torque sensor for an improved ride. It's an interesting combination of low and high tech, one we haven't seen much of before in this industry. Ford has received more than 44,000 reservations for F150 Lightning electric pickup truck. Ford confirmed that it has received more than 44,000 reservations for the new F150 Lightning electric pickup truck. It's tracking a bit behind the Tesla Cybertruck, but it's still doing good. Earlier this week, Ford unveiled the F150 Lightning, an all-electric version of the company's best-selling pickup truck. The vehicle has the potential to greatly accelerate electric vehicle adoption in the US since the F150 is already the best-selling passenger vehicle in the market. Ford hit the mark when it comes to specs and pricing, and now the market is looking at the demand behind the vehicle. CEO Jim Farley said that Ford received 20,000 orders on the first day, and now he confirmed that it rose to more than 44,000 reservations for the F150 Lightning within 48 hours. The automaker is taking reservations with a $100 refundable deposit for the electric pickup truck that's coming in mid-2022. The small deposit results in only a moderate show of interest, but the terms are the same for the Tesla Cybertruck, which gives us an interesting point of comparison. When Tesla unveiled the Cybertruck in 2019, the automaker announced that it received over 146,000 reservations within the first day. Tesla reached about 250,000 reservations for the Cybertruck within the first week, and now it is believed to have received over 650,000 reservations for the electric pickup truck. While virtually non-existent right now, the electric pickup truck space is expected to quickly become very competitive. Rivian says that it's going to start deliveries of the R1T, its electric pickup, next month. It should be followed by the Hummer EV pickup later this year, then the Tesla Cybertruck, and the Ford F150 next year. With more than 3 million pickup trucks sold in the US every year, it's going to be interesting to see how fast the market can be electrified, as it is a $100 billion-plus market that is about to be seriously disrupted. Apple now selling PS5 DualSense Controller following iOS 14.5 support. Apple introduced iOS 14.5 last month with several new features, including iPhone Unlock with Apple Watch, app tracking transparency, and support for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series 10 controllers. Following that update, Apple on Friday began selling the PlayStation 5 DualSense wireless controller in its online store. The latest versions of iOS, tvOS, and macOS let users pair a PS5 DualSense controller to an iPhone, iPad, Mac, or Apple TV via Bluetooth to play compatible games. PS4 and PS5 console owners can also use the PS Remote Play app in the DualSense controller to stream and play PlayStation games directly on the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Having a third-party controller available in the Apple Store is not surprising. Besides the PS5 DualSense controller, Apple also sells the SteelSeries Nimbus Plus MFI controller and the Xbox wireless controller in its stores. Now, consumers have one more store option to find their favorite game controller. The PlayStation 5 DualSense wireless controller costs $69.95 and can now be ordered from Apple's online store. At least for now, in-store pickup is currently unavailable. Sony recently announced new models of the PS5 DualSense controller in black and red, but Apple is only selling the original white version. Google Assistant will soon be able to power off your Android phone. With Android 12, the Google Assistant gained the ability to be invoked by long pressing the power button, which normally opens Android's power menu. In turn, the Google Assistant is gaining the ability to power your phone off with your voice. Android 12 is bringing a suite of visual and tactile changes to the OS, including the new Material You Design language. One of the changes seen already is a new way to access the Google Assistant beyond the current options like Hey Google and swiping up from the corner of the screen, by long pressing your phone's power button. While this design brings Pixel phones in line with devices like the Samsung Galaxy series, it's quickly been spotted that Android 12 beta doesn't currently offer any way to turn your phone off if you want to use long press to activate the assistant. We've already spotted one potential solution to this issue, with Google adding a power button to Android's quick settings area, but this isn't their only plan. The Google Search app got a new beta update also, and in it was found an in-app explainer for the new way to use the assistant. In it, it was found that there will be two distinct ways to power off your phone on Android 12. Firstly, you'll soon be able to press power and volume up at the same time to access the power menu. Unfortunately, in testing, this doesn't work yet as of Android 12 Beta 1. More interestingly, it'll soon be possible to say something like power off to the Google Assistant to turn your device off. Currently on Android, the Google Assistant either tells you that power controls are not available or walks you through the correct way to shut your phone off. It's not clear at this point whether saying power off phone will immediately turn your phone off or if it will open the usual Android power menu to interact with. It has to be confirmed whether or not this will be exclusive to Android 12 or to Google Pixel phones. Creating 3 new ways to do the same exact thing is something of a signature move for Google, so it should be interesting to see which of these power options stick around in the long term. Well, that's about it for today. Hope you found it helpful. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. And do show us some love by clicking on the thumbs up button. Have a wonderful day everyone, and we will be back again soon.